Hello everyone, we got a 9-game NBA slate for Monday, starting off with the Cavs at Orlando. Cleveland signed Andre Drummond. He got a technical foul in the second quarter, and then he got benched by his coach as like punishment or whatever. So I do expect or at least hope that he does get his usual minutes. And his minutes really on the year, they haven't been that great. Like this was a double OT game, but when he does, stay out of foul trouble, not going to be a blowout. This is someone that has a tremendous ceiling of 60 plus points. So he's in play, but not going to be a core play because there's a big slate. And I guess Vucevic, it is a pretty tough matchup. Now, there are some other injuries at the other positions, like Darius Garland is questionable, Okoro's questionable. So if Garland is out, that's obviously going to help Sexton. Maybe he can get more playmaking opportunities, but he is 7,200 against the Magic, so it's not like really appealing. Shitty Osman at 5K. I think that if Garland and Okoro are going to be out, his minutes are going to be a lot better, but he's just not that productive of a player, and he's 5K, so it's not a great price tag. And Exum, I think maybe that's the guy that you go for on this team if you need value. He's 3,900. He's been starting, and they still have a lot of injuries out right now. So he's a big guard that does rebound pretty well. So not the best shooter, but he's going to play some big minutes and is a pretty cheap guy. Orlando's side, they still have some injuries. Evan Fournier is questionable. James Ennis could be back, so that's going to hurt Dwayne Bacon. But if Fournier is out, then that means Terrence Ross is going to get a lot more opportunity, a lot more minutes. Michael Carter-Williams, his price tag is coming up though, so not going to be a guy for me either way. And I think Vucevic, 8,800 against Drummond. Both of these guys in the past, their history, they've been pretty good. Like both of them, they're easily capable of putting up 20 in 10 games. So I'm not really fading this matchup for either one of them. Fultz is fine. Cavs guards, they're really bad at defense, but his price tag isn't that cheap. Aaron Gordon, maybe the most appealing option here because he finally got to 28 minutes. He's not someone that is super productive, but it does help if Evan Fournier is out. His minutes, seeing 28 is nice because he's been on a limit, so maybe he can get to like 30. And this is a pretty good matchup against the Cavs, so there's definitely a ceiling if he does play closer over 30 minutes, but just, again, nothing that stands out. Charlotte's side is going to be a rematch, and Gordon Hayward, 7,300. I think he's fine, but it's just not someone that I want to really go to. Like, this is about where he should be priced at, and he's not someone that usually gets 4 steals, assists. They have a lot of other ball handlers, so it's a little bit concerning about if that's something I can replicate. And 7,300 is really not a cheap price tag, and this is Philly again. They're supposed to be a good defensive team, so in a rematch, maybe this time it turns into a blowout or something. Terry Rozier, he's shot dependent. He has a very low floor, so at 7,100, not someone I'm going to go to. Devontae Graham, I'd rather go with him over Rozier just because of the price. You get a big time savings, and I know he hasn't shot the ball well, but Rozier, this is basically they're two of them, they're like similar in that they just need to make their shots. And Graham actually has a lot better assist upside, so it does help seeing that. But you got LaMelo Ball at 5,600 who actually gets peripherals. He's been pretty good at defense. He's been seeing a lot more minutes recently, and that's something that we really like. Because he's a rookie, he's also blowout proof. So there's just he's a lot safer in his upside. Honestly, I think they're pretty similar. So 5,600, I prefer LaMelo. Probably the best option for the Hornets side. PJ Washington is questionable, but that doesn't really make anyone stand out. Like whoever fills in, it's still not going to be that great. They have closed with 3 guards before, like last game even. So it probably just helps LaMelo, Graham, and Rozier a lot more, and obviously Bridges. But yeah, LaMelo going to be the play. Philly side, again, Charlotte, you can attack him inside, but Ben Simmons, he's a 6'10 guy. He rebounds really well. So I think, though, $800 difference, I prefer Embiid. And other guys here, they have a big 3 here. So I just want Embiid, really. And against Charlotte, this is definitely the matchup for Embiid. So he's really the guy that stands out. None of these guys I'm going to go to. New York, they still have some injuries. Alec Burks, he could finally return, but we don't really know that. If he stays out, then again, Alfred Payne, if he plays well, he'll get his usual 30-plus minutes. If not, they have Austin Rivers. They have Quickly that they can definitely just use them. Audrey Barrett, 6,700. His price is, I think it's okay. Like he just needs to shoot a lot better. Finally, we got a better shooting game last time. He's someone that does get peripherals, so this price tag against a poor defensive team in Atlanta, I think you can go there. But again, not something that I'm going to go to like a lot. You just don't want to lock that in. Robinson at 5,700. Again, foul trouble always a concern for him, but there's certainly 40 point upside for this guy. And then for value, if there's no other good ones, no one's 3,600. If Robinson gets into foul trouble, he's a direct benefit. Atlanta, Trae Young, he's 9,800 against the Knicks. I mean, he's got a big time upside, so I'm not going to tell you to fade him, but it doesn't feel like someone that I'm going to be locking in. Now, Collins and Capella, they're pretty good. Capella, 6,100, I think he's underpriced. Now that we've seen him play 30 minutes back-to-back games, he's someone that can put up double-doubles with ease. He's someone also that blocks shots at a good rate. I think he's really good on the slate. Now, John Collins with Capella back, his rebounds just aren't going to be as great, but he's also a very talented offensive player that he's been shooting threes a lot. So, offensively, he still can run a lot of pick and rolls, pick and pops. So I do like Collins as well, but Capella's going to be the guy. Now, Gallinari is going to be out. Rondo's doubtful, and Herder's questionable. So that helps Bogdan, Hunter, and Reddish, but they're priced to 5K, and I mean, you're kind of just picking like out of the three who's going to have a good game. Now, it doesn't mean only one of them can, but against the Knicks, like I'm not sure. Like it's pretty tough to pick. One of them. Like their prices, they're really not that cheap either. So I'm probably just gonna stay away. OKC, SGA, he's still going to be the guy because Horford, George Hill, they're vets. They don't play big minutes. Now SGA, he's the young guy. He's the future. Even against Miami, he has upside. 7,800, still like him. Miami, Bam, feels a little bit overpriced. Jimmy Butler, he didn't have a good game, so he didn't play as many minutes, but here his price tag is down, so I will have some interest in him. Duncan Robinson, 4,600. You know what you're getting. Low floor, pretty good ceiling. Kelly Olynyk, pretty intriguing, I would say, for 3,900. Sucks that he's not power forward eligible anymore, but I mean, he's really productive. So if you get a game where he does get a lot of minutes, this is going to be a pretty good value play. Now, Boston, Toronto, they're on a back-to-back, and Tristan Thompson did rest on the last one, so maybe, he could rest again. That's going to help Tyson Robert Williams, but their prices aren't as cheap as last time, so it doesn't feel as great. Jeff Teague is questionable. That would make Peyton Pritchard a lower in play for value. For the studs, I prefer Tatum when he's this closely priced with Jaylen Brown. Toronto side, Siakam, he fouled out last time, so his minutes were down. At 7,700, he's in play, but Boston's a very good defensive team. Boucher, 5,100. This is a matchup where they don't really need size. They don't need to go to Alex Len. But Boucher he's someone that has a low floor just because he doesn't get minutes, has consistent minutes. So 5,100 still, he's going to be in play for tournaments, but he has a really low floor. He's just always going to be a high-risk, high-reward player. And Willie Lowry, they look great as always. Dallas, I think Luka's going to play now just because it was a back-to-back, so they rested him against the Bulls. Now, Houston, not sure about James Harden, though, so if Luka plays, which I do think he does, then obviously I'm going to like Luka a lot. Other guys, they just are going to be core, but if Luka's out again, we just go right back to Brunson and all these dudes. Houston side, if Harden is in, I think he can still play John Wall and Christian Wood, but again, if Harden is out, then that just makes Wall pretty much like one of the best plays of the slate. For other guys, like Cousins is sharing minutes with Wood, so he's like a little bit like overpriced, I would say. Aaron Gordon, 5,700, he's just too shot dependent, so I don't really want him. Detroit side, Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose, I think that they might rest because it is a back-to-back and they done it last time. Now, also makes sense because the Bucks, we've seen weird things, but they probably should be able to blow this team out. They should be able to handle them. So I do see Griffin and Rose resting. Now, Josh Jackson, he did hurt his ankle, so he's questionable. So we don't really know what Detroit's going to do, but if this game's going to stay close, it's going to be Jeremy Grant, Plumlee, DeLon Wright, Killian Hayes. He's starting 3,500. Rose is out. That's going to help his minutes, so I think 3,500. He makes sense, but Milwaukee is a team that protects the basket, so that's going to hurt a guy like DeLon Wright. But if he's able to play big minutes, he's still good. He's only 4K. Milwaukee side, blowout concern again. So, I mean, Giannis, he can do it in 3 quarters, 10.8K. He'll probably be pretty low owned, especially if Luka is playing. And if there's a lot of value, maybe, that helps ownership for like Giannis go up a little bit, but still, a lot of people have been fading blowouts, especially for Giannis. So if you do play, a lot of lineups, you should try to get some Detroit, run it back with Giannis. Same thing with Middleton and Drew, just blowout concerns. Brook Lopez, he's 4,300, pretty cheap. So someone that, if he gets his minutes, definitely has a 30+ ceiling. Indy, TJ Warren again going to be out, so that's going to help the usage for all the other starters. Aaron Holiday continues to start. I actually like him here because it is New Orleans. They play really fast and they do turn the ball over. Holiday just hasn't been shooting well, and he's starting his minutes. They're not going to be great. Like, if he plays well, I do expect him to close, but they're okay closing with McDermott, Justin Holiday, so minutes definitely a concern, but he is very cheap, 3,500, so if there's no better value, this is someone I can look to, especially because he does have both guard spots available. Now for the studs, I prefer Oladipo over Brogdon. I think Brogdon, because of his big game, he's not gonna shoot like that again. I just rather go to Oladipo, who, I mean, he was shooting really bad. He still got you 33 points. He does get peripherals as well, so I like him. Good match against New Orleans. I think he's priced pretty well for this great matchup. Now, New Orleans side, Ingram is okay, 8,400, but Zion, he's 7,900. Now, $500 price difference. Again, I like Ingram because he just gets more assists. Like, you look at these totals, it's a lot more appealing, but Zion, he's going to be more expensive once he gets it going, like if he stays out of foul trouble. And so I do expect Zion to have a good game on Sun time. Now, this matchup, I probably still prefer Ingram because Miles Turner is a very good rim protector. With other dudes, Reddick, he's worth a mention because he's still getting big minutes, or not big minutes, but his role is still consistent, and he's just not shooting well. So if he's able to get a good shooting game, he's going to absolutely return like 6, 7x at this cheap price tag. Now, last game with the Kings, Fox 8,200. This is a little bit expensive for him. I'm going to be playing Marvin Bagley for probably until he finally has his breakout game, because if he plays well, he'll close. If he stays out of foul trouble, not going to be a blowout. He should be able to earn minutes. And against Golden State, this is definitely a beatable team. Good matchup. I think Corey Joseph you can look to for value with Halliburton still being out. So Bagley probably going to be the guy for tournaments, but again, he's not a core. Now, Golden State, Steph Curry just had a monster 62-point game. Don't know if he's going to play on a back-to-back, and if he does, he's probably going to get a lot of ownership, which I think is still play Curry, but it's tough to see someone have crazy good games back-to-back nights. This is definitely a good matchup. Now, if he sits out, Andrew Wiggins, Oubre, these guys are going to be a lot more in play, especially Oubre, 5,500. Kings, fast-paced team. I don't like that. Draymond, just because he's returned, he might sit this one out as well. So in that case, James Wiseman probably going to be the guy that I look to because he's 5K. He's a rookie. He should be able to still get some pretty solid minutes. Foul trouble is a concern, but he's been pretty productive. And if Curry is out, that's going to help his usage a lot. So for value, we're going to have to wait if Curry is out. Then obviously we should have value. But without that news, I can't really put in anyone. So for the best plays, I think Luka plays. That's why I'm going to have him as my core. And then LaMelo Ball looks really good. John Wall, obviously, I think he can play him either way, but will be a lock if Harden is out. And then Clint Capella, he looks as one of the better center plays for the slate. And then someone for value, Aaron Holiday, because it's a good matchup and he definitely has a path. Especially, if someone were to get into foul trouble, he definitely can benefit that way as well. And he can't shoot this poorly forever. So I'll make sure to update that because we should be able to get better value than Holiday. But for right now, it's going to be Luka, Aaron Holiday, Capella, LaMelo Ball, and John Wall. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like before you go. And as always, good luck on this slate. And you can follow me on Twitter at Ballfuls. Link will be in the description below. Ask me anything, DM me. I'm always happy to help. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.